Good evening, everyone. I hope my screen is visible and my voice is audible.
Yes, slightly louder.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be starting the session. Today's session is on Payment of Bonus Act 1965, and we'll start it from the objective of this act. The objective of this act is to first is to impose the statutory liability upon the employer to pay bonus to employees, to define the principle of payment of bonus according to the prescribed formula, to provide for minimum and maximum bonus, and linking the payment of bonus with the set on and set off scheme. What is set on and set off scheme? We will discuss further in the coming slides. And to provide machinery for enforcement of the liability of payment of bonus. So mainly the objective of this act is to impose this statutory liability on the employers, to provide the minimum and maximum rates of bonus according to which they have to pay the bonus to their employers, and also to provide a machinery how this act will work upon and what will be the statutory processes and what is the annual return timing and all. Everything is described under this formula in this act. So that's why.
Dheeraj, please hold.
Yeah.
Dheeraj, you are not.
Hello.
थोड़ा सा loud बोलना होगा.
So mic is very close to me. Let me change the audio option in my settings. Am I audible now? Hello, sir.
Your voice is loud, but yes. Speak again, Dheeraj.
Am I audible, Sachin?
Um,
It is loud, but slightly disturbed and noisy.
Let me change the setting. Is it
Now
clear?
it is good. Now it is good.
Now it is.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone and audible. I'm audible also.
नहीं धीरज वापस उसी मोड पे चल जाओ जिस मोड पे थे तुम.
Because earlier your voice was clear, now it is echoing.
करेक्ट. अब ज्यादा नॉइजी है. पहले ठीक था, क्लियर था, लेकिन बहुत धीरे था.
अभी ठीक है?
Please continue. Please continue.
Sure. Okay. So I was on objective slide. Let me make it full screen. Right. So the objectives are to impose the statutory liability upon the employer, to define the principles of the payment of bonus.
Dheeraj, we need to stop. Again, chat box में I am getting comment that this voice is not good. Earlier it was better. But earlier voice was okay, but slightly you need to be slightly louder.
Okay. The objective to impose statutory liability upon employer to pay bonus to employees. I hope that it is audible now.
Hello, Dheeraj.
Yeah, is it clear?
It is clear, but your voice is echoing. Earlier it was fine, so you can continue with the.
Okay, let me change the setting again now. I think there is some problem with the settings here.
Laptop audio मत use करो. Use your Bluetooth or earphone. Anything.
I'm using earpiece only. Hello, sir, is that audible now?
Hello.
Hello, sir, अभी audible was?
नहीं धीरज बहुत noisy है.
No, what's the problem here? Okay, just a moment. Is it clear now?
let others speak. I'm not finding it clear.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Am I audible to everyone? Please respond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think most of them can hear me. Huh?
तुम्हारा वॉइस इको कर रहा है.
Dheeraj, please put on the setting which you were earlier using.
Dheeraj, what was the earlier setting you were using? Any mic or earphone?
That was Saver system.
When you started presenting, what was the setting? You were using any kind of earphone or?
From the initial point, I'm using earphones only.
तो उसको यूज करो ना.
यूज कर रहा हूँ ना अभी, उसी से बात कर रहा हूँ अभी. राइट नाउ आल्सो आई एम ऑन ईयरफोन्स ओनली.
Okay, चल, let's start. Probably you have kept very close to your. Fine. थोड़ा धीरे बोलो. It would be okay.
ठीक है. ओके. Okay, so I'm moving to the next slide now. The applicability of this act, the Payment of Bonus Act, applies to which organizations, and what are the conditions of applicability of this act? The act extends to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. This act applies to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. The act applies to every factor. I'm getting some disturbance in the background.
Again, your voice is echoing. We can't hear you properly.
Is it clear now? I think some people have now turned on their speakers, and that's why we're getting these echoes. So we need to unmute everyone. Let me mute everyone. Huh? Now the audio is good.
No, Dheeraj, even now also the crackling sound is there.
I don't know why it is happening. How about now?
No, same. Actually, initially it was better, but now I'm not able to listen properly actually.
Still.
Sir, earlier was good. At first, when you start the presentation, then your voice was okay.
Correct. When you started, it was good, Dheeraj.
All the settings are same. I don't know what is happening. Any enhancement now?
इतना slow बोलो. It would be better.
ठीक है. So I was on applicability of this act. This act applies to. This act extends to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. The act applies to every factory and establishment in which 20 or more persons are employed on any day of the financial year. Appropriate government may, by notification on the official gazette, make the act applicable to establishment with more than 10 employees but less than 20 employees. Once the act becomes applicable, it shall continue to remain applicable in the establishment, even if the number falls below the specified numbers in the act. So this act applies to whole of India, and it applies to every factory and establishment, whether it is a factory or an establishment in which the number of employees is 20 or more than 20. If this number reaches more than 20 or more than 20 on any day of the last financial year, this act becomes applicable to that organization, right? And once this act becomes applicable, it shall remain applicable, irrespective of the number reduced further. Like on going on days, if the number even reduces below 20, this act will remain applicable to that company. And to those organizations where the number of employees between 10 to 20, the appropriate government may, by issuing a notification to that organization, can apply this act to their organization. They may give them the time to respond whether why this act should not be applied to their organization. If the that answer is satisfactory, they can give them the time. Otherwise, the act can be applied by giving the notification to those organizations where the employee count is between 10 to 20 employees. So we have already understood that how this act applies to the organization. Now there is a question coming out: is new organizations liable to pay bonus? I would like to have some answers from the attendees. New organizations are liable to pay bonus. Is that act applicable to those organizations?
So as per my knowledge,
Yeah.
hello,
Yes, please tell me.
if organization is working more than 3 years in profit, then they have liable to pay for bonus.
Okay.
If the company
All right.
is profitable.
Any other answers?
Yeah, if company is profitable, then you can,
If the company is in profit, then it is liable to pay the bonus, right? That's what you want to say.
yes.
Okay. Any other answers? Okay, so what if the organization, if those there are saying that it's not applicable, this act is not liable to those organizations who are new, then what if the organization is making profit? Like Saurav said, it is applicable if the organization is making profit. In loss years, this payment of bonus would not be liable. But any year during this 5 years, if the company makes any profit, this payment of bonus would be applicable to that organization. So coming to the next slide on this only, that is special provisions. In case of new establishment, up to 5 years, employees' bonus is payable only in case of profits, but not in losses by the management or the employer. So here, in the initial 5 years of time, the payment of bonus shall be liable only in the case if there is a profit in the financial year. If there is a losses, then the bonus would not be applicable. Now, how to calculate bonus, this profit during this period of 5 years? Condition that profits are remaining amounts after deducting expenses, depreciations, and taxes from the gross profit. So that's how they decide profit, whether the company is in profit or losses. So if there is a profit, then they have to provide the bonus to their employees. Moving to the next slide. Now, we will discuss about the eligibility of the employees to get this bonus. So I would like to ask the attendees, is an apprentice eligible for bonus?
No,
No, I think no.
No.
May I know why?
No.
because they are employed under Apprenticeship Act 1961.
Correct. And also in the definition under this Payment of Bonus Act, the employees definition, these apprentices are excluded from that definition. So I'm coming to the definition now. What employee means under this act? Employee means any person other than an apprentice. Here in the bracket, you can see that other than an apprentice, employed on a salary or wages not exceeding rupees 21,000 per month in any industry to do any skilled or unskilled work. So here this act defines any person who is drawing wages equal to or below rupees 21,000 per month and is being employed in the company to do any work for wages.
Sorry to interrupt, Dheeraj.
Yeah.
I have one question. This wages is gross or it's basic for 21,000?
Basic and DA. That would be basic and DA.
We would come to that. We would show some calculation. We will share a salary breakup and we will take 21,000 how it comes. What components?
We'll discuss everything over in this session. In coming slides, we'll discuss that. Right. So for here, the wages, basic plus DA, if any employee who is drawing salary, that basic and DA equals to or below 21,000 per month and is being employed in the company in return and is employed in the company for any work, whether it is unskilled, skilled, or managerial or supervisory, that employee will be counted as an employee under this act. Apprentice will not be included under the definition of this employee under this act. Now, there are some other employees also who are considered as employee under this act. Who are they? Probationers, dismissed and suspended employees, temporary part-time employees, peace-rated employees. These are also eligible to get bonus under the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. Now let's understand employer. According to this act, who are employer? In a factory, owner, manager, legal representative, agent of the owner, any of these person who is representing the company, representing the factory, is an employer in the scenario of a factory. And the condition, if there is an establishment, in that establishment, the managing director, MD, or the person who is having the ultimate control to make decisions would be the employer in an establishment. Now we'll discuss about the employee's eligibility and disqualification of bonus from bonus. So first discuss about the employee's eligibility, how employees become eligible to get bonus under the Payment of Bonus Act. So we have discussed in the definition of employees also what a employee means under the Payment of Bonus Act. Here, every employee drawing wages, salary wages up to rupees 21,000 per month and engaged in any kind of work, whether skilled, unskilled, managerial, supervisory, technical, clerical, etc., is entitled for bonus every accounting year if she has worked for at least 30 working days in an accounting year. So here for eligibility, two criteria matter. First is the salary, that is basic and DA. If the employee's basic and DA is equals to or below rupees 21,000, and that employee has worked minimum 30 days in the past accounting year for which we are about to calculate the bonus, then the person is eligible to get bonus under the Payment of Bonus Act. That's how we consider the eligibility of an employee. Now, there are some industries of their employees are not eligible to get bonus. What are those industries? These industries are the general insurance companies, central state government establishment, Indian Red Cross Society, universities and educational institutes, hospitals, RBI, social welfare institutions, and the local body. These are the industries where the employees of these industries are not eligible to get bonus under the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. If anything paid to them with the name of bonus, that would be called as ex gratia. Now we'll discuss about the employees' disqualification, how employees can be disqualified from bonus. An employee shall be disqualified from bonus if an employee has been dismissed from the services for the following reasons. If any employee has been dismissed from the company for the following reason, what are those reasons? That is for the riotous or the violent behavior while in the premises of the establishment, fraud, theft, misappropriate or sabotage of any property of the establishment. So if any employee has been dismissed from the organization, from the services under these situations for the riotous and the violent behavior, for damaging the property, fraud, theft, misappropriate, sabotage of any property of the establishment, then that employee can be disqualified from the Payment of Bonus Act to receive any payment at the name of bonus. These are the conditions of employees' disqualification under the Payment of Bonus Act. Now let's understand what is the time limit for the bonus payment. The bonus should be paid in cash within 8 months from the close of the accounting year. So most of the organization close their accounting year in the month of March of every year, right? So it means from the April onwards, bonus should be paid within 8 months of the closing of the accounting year, and within 1 month from the date of enforcement of the award or coming into the operation of a settlement following an industrial dispute regarding the Payment of Bonus Act. So let's say if there is a dispute going on under the organization between the employer and the employee. So any time when the award comes out, any decision comes out from the tribunal court or the labor court, from that day onwards, within 30 days, the employer have to pay the bonus to their employees. So this is the time limit for the Payment of Bonus Act. Payment of bonus. Within 8 months, they have to pay the bonus. So that's why most of the companies pay in the month of November. Now let's understand about the maximum and minimum bonus. So what is the minimum payment of bonus? So minimum rate of bonus is 8.33% of the wages and salary. Here the wages and salaries again basic and DA, basic plus DA, or rupees 100 if the employee age is above 15 years. It means the employee is adolescent or an adult. If rupees 60 if the employee age is below 15 years. If the employee is young, then it means then they have to be they should be paid minimum rupees 60 as a bonus. So the rate of bonus is 8.33%. That is the minimum rate. 100 rupees paid to the person who are above 15 years and below uh, rupees 60 if the age is below 15 years. So among these three, whichever is the highest amount, that should be paid as a bonus, whether 8.33 rupees 100 or 60. Now, minimum bonus is payable even if the establishment suffer losses. So here, if we are saying that minimum bonus, this minimum rate of bonus is payable even if the organization has suffered any losses. They have to pay the minimum rate of bonus, that is 8.33%, in the condition of losses as well. So this applies after the 5 years, initial 5 years. This applies automatically. Now, maximum bonus. If an accounting year, the allocable surplus calculated after taking into account the amount set on or the amount set off exceeds the minimum bonus, the employer should pay bonus in portion of the salary wages earned by the employee in that accounting year, subject to the maximum of 20 of such salary and wages. It means the maximum rate of bonus is 20%. The employer have to pay maximum 20% of basic and DA of employee as the maximum rate of bonus, considering the set on and set of criteria from the allocable surplus. What is allocable surplus, what is set on and set off, we will discuss in coming slides. So the maximum rate is 20%, minimum rate is 8.33%. Now let's discuss about the calculation of bonus. This is a very important point for bonus calculation. So we have earlier discussed that for eligibility, we consider basic plus DA. Basic plus DA of an employee. If the basic plus DA of an employee is less than or equals to rupees 21,000 per month, then the employee is eligible to get bonus from the organization. Now this 21,000 basic and DA is the eligibility criteria. Here, this limit 21,000 is the eligibility limit. So under this limit, the employees are drawing wages, they are eligible for the bonus. Now maximum wage ceiling for bonus calculation. So once an employee gets eligible for the bonus, we have to calculate bonus now. So for the calculation of bonus, the maximum ceiling is rupees 7,000 rupees per month or the minimum wage of the scheduled employment, whichever is higher. So once we decide the eligibility, we have to check the maximum ceiling of the bonus calculation, maximum ceiling of the bonus payment, that is rupees 7,000 or the minimum wage of the state. Whichever is the higher among these, that should be considered as a maximum ceiling for the payment of bonus. I'm talking about maximum ceiling. Still, we will pay the bonus on basic and DA considering. Let's see what are the cases. The first case is if basic plus DA is less than maximum wage ceiling, whether it is 7,000 or the minimum wage of the state for the scheduled employment. If basic and DA is less than maximum wage ceiling, then the bonus shall be calculated on the actual amount or the state minimum wage, whichever is higher. Then in that case, if the basic plus DA is less than maximum wage ceiling, the bonus shall be calculated on actual basic and DA or the state minimum wage, whichever is higher. Now, if basic and DA is greater than maximum wage ceiling, the bonus shall be calculated on 7,000 rupees. So if the basic and DA is more than wage ceiling, then for calculation, the bonus shall be capped at 7,000 rupees. We have to calculate bonus on maximum 7,000 rupees. So now I will be sharing an Excel sheet with you with the calculation to understand these conditions. Let me share the sheet. I hope this Excel sheet is visible to everyone.
Yes, this is visible.
Yeah.
Sir.
So here I have three cases to discuss the calculation of bonus. The first case is if the basic salary is higher than rupees 7,000 but less than minimum wage. So let's take these cases. Let's consider the basic salary, basic plus DA of an employee is rupees 8,000 rupees. Now we have to consider the minimum wage of the state. Basic salary is higher than 7,000 but less than minimum wage. So let's say that the minimum wage is 9,000 Now, government limit for bonus is 7,000 rupees. And let's suppose we are taking 8.33 as the minimum rate of percentage for the calculation of bonus. So this is the criteria. Here we'll first check the eligibility. That is the step one, to find the eligibility, whether the employee is eligible for bonus or not. So here we can see that the basic and DA of the employees is 8,000 rupees. So if it means that it is below rupees 21,000, it means that the employee is eligible for the bonus. Now the step two is to decide the maximum wage ceiling, whether it should be 7,000 rupees or the minimum wage of the state. So as we discussed earlier, whatever will be the higher among these will be the maximum wage ceiling. So here you can see that the minimum wage of the state is more than 7,000 rupees. So it means that we will consider 9,000 rupees, that is the minimum wage of the state. This 9,000 rupees as the maximum wage ceiling. For that, I have just inserted a formula, that is yes, if yes, then 9,000. If no, then the minimum wage. So here you can see automatically that 9,000 more than the 7,000. That's why I've taken the maximum wage ceiling for bonus as 9,000 rupees. In step 3, we have to finalize the bonus wage. So whatever is the minimum, so as we have discussed here in this sheet, if the basic and DA is below maximum ceiling, then the bonus shall be calculated on actual basic and DA. So here you can see the basic and DA is below maximum wage ceiling. Now our maximum wage ceiling is 9,000 rupees. So here you can see that the basic and DA is below 9,000. So hence we have to take this basic and DA as the bonus wage for bonus calculation, and we just multiply this bonus wage with 8.33. Whatever is the rate of bonus going on in your organization, just take that rate and multiply this bonus wage with that to get the monthly bonus amount. That's how we calculate the bonus. There is one more case we can take. The second case is if basic salary is higher than 7,000 rupees and higher than minimum wage also. So let's suppose the minimum wage of the state is 9,000, basic salary is 10,000. And it is automatically higher than 7,000 as well. So in this situation, how will we calculate the bonus? So again, we will first check the maximum wage ceiling. So here again, we will consider these two. First, the minimum wage of the state, and second, the government limit of the bonus, that is 7,000. So you can see again, the minimum wage of the state is higher than 7,000. Hence, we will take this minimum wage as the maximum ceiling for bonus calculation, and we will calculate bonus on this only. As I told you here, if basic and DA is above maximum ceiling, then the bonus will be calculated on maximum ceiling only, right? So in this case, you can see here, the basic and DA is above maximum wage ceiling. Our maximum wage ceiling is 9,000 now. So that's why we are taking 9,000 for the bonus calculation. We have capped bonus wages on 9,000. That is the maximum wage ceiling, and we just have to calculate. We just have to multiply this bonus wages with the rate of bonus we have, and we will get the monthly bonus. Let's take another example also. If basic salary is less than 7,000 and minimum wage is both, what is the well, taking a basic salary less than minimum wages is not a legal and statutory thing. Just for an example, I'm taking this. So let's suppose that the basic and DA of the employee is 6,500. Let's say 6,000. And the minimum wage of the state is 6,500. In this condition, on what amount we will calculate bonus? Is there anyone who wants to ask anything? Okay.
No, there is no.
Okay. So here now you can see again we will compare these two, and we will check for the maximum amount. Now you can see the government limit for bonus is higher than the minimum wage. Minimum wage is 6,500 and the government limit is 7,000 rupees. So that's why we will consider this 7,000 amount as a maximum wage ceiling. That's that I have taken here. Now for bonus wage, again we will refer this. If basic and DA is below maximum ceiling, then the bonus will be calculated on actual basic and DA. So here again you can see that basic and DA is below maximum ceiling. Now our maximum ceiling is 7,000 rupees and this basic and DA is below. So now we are calculating on actual basic and DA. Whatever is actual basic and DA, we take that amount as the bonus wage for the calculation, and we will just multiply this with the rate of bonus whatever we have. So that's how we calculate monthly bonus. I have discussed 3 cases. Most of the cases are these in which the employers get confused to calculate bonus. Now let's say this was the process to calculate monthly bonus. How we get annual bonus? What we have to do to calculate the annual bonus of the employee? This is 1 month's bonus only, but we have to pay for the entire year. So how can we do that? We just have to repeat these steps every month in a financial year. We need to calculate these steps for every month on the payable basic and DA. In the real scenario, whenever we are calculating bonus for every month, we need to consider the payable basic and DA, the earned basic and DA depending upon the attendance of the employee. So I just show you that calculation process here. Here you can see that I have used the same process. I've just transferred the data, and you can see that I have calculated bonus for every month, considering the same thing. Bonus salary I have calculated on the basis of maximum ceiling, and I've just repeated the same process on their pay days. Here you can see I have calculated their this process on their pay days and just obtained their earned basic and DA, and then calculated their bonus on their earned basic and DA, and they repeated the same step for each and every month. And in the end, I just sum up all these bonus for every month. I got the annual amount of bonus. That's how we can calculate the monthly bonus for every employee in our organization if we are paying the bonus on annual basis.
What you're trying to say, Dheeraj, is bonus is paid not on rate of salary, but it is paid on actual paid salary. Whatever salary, suppose the person is worked for 15 days only, then bonus will be calculated on his 15 days salary only. So bonus is calculated not on the rate of salary, but on the actual salary paid or actual earnings. Okay.
Correct, sir. So I hope this calculation is clear to everyone. Is there anyone who wants to ask anything on calculation?
Yeah, Dheeraj, I have one question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Saurabh this side. Yeah, so, Dheeraj, is there any criteria for determining it or a special compliance for government, or it is 7,000?
Saurabh, you are not audible. Can you please?
Your voice is not audible, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Dheeraj?
Yes, it is audible now.
Yeah, this maximum wage ceiling for bonus, which you have mentioned here, is 7,000. So, is there any statutory compliance required for this 7,000, or we can take as it is possible?
Yes, there is an amendment. Earlier, this 7,000 amount was 3,500 rupees.
Yes.
Now we got an amendment in, I think, year 2017. It's been revised to 7,000 rupees. So it's the amendment amount.
So 7,000 is the specified limit, right?
Yes, this is a specified amount by the Payment of Bonus Act only.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So whenever if you will try, you can Google this, that what is the maximum wage ceiling amendment, and then you will get this notification as well. You can get on Google.
This is what Saurabh was trying to ask is anything required to comply this 7,000 wala government limited? There is no need to do anything extra to comply this. Government has already notified or declared a policy saying that 7,000 is the limit.
Correct.
Employers are not required to do anything extra to comply this or follow this.
Right. So in their calculation, it will be verified what is the maximum wage ceiling they are taking out. So whenever there is an annual return or inspection in the company, this amount will be verified. So what amount you are taking. So that's why we need to consider this 7,000 at the maximum wage ceiling or the minimum wage of the state. Always make sure that when you are deciding the maximum wage ceiling for bonus calculation, these two things will be considered. Whether the current amount which is provided by the government, that is 7,000 rupees, or the minimum wage, whichever will be the higher among these two will be considered as the maximum wage ceiling for bonus calculation.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, please ask.
Sir, I have a question.
Ashok.
Yeah, please.
Suppose the person, suppose in the month of May he joined the organization. He worked in that month. He worked for 20 days.
Right.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
He was present 20 days on. In the preceding next month, he was present for 11 days.
Okay.
As for law, he is eligible for bonus.
Correct.
Hello?
Yes.
My question is that he is present for 31 days. Now he is eligible.
Right.
But what are the calculation criteria for that?
Calculation.
Okay,
maximum. What is the eligibility for that?
Yes.
Dheeraj, let me answer. I got the question.
Sure.
Mr. Sahu, any person who has worked for 30 days become eligible to get bonus. If the person has worked for 20 days in May, you will calculate his bonus for his 20 days salary.
Correct.
Similarly, for the month of June, in which he has worked for 11 days only, you will calculate his bonus on 11 days payment. In this way, you will calculate the bonus. Bonus is calculated on the actual earning a person has earned.
Right.
Hope I am able to clear you, Mr. Sahu. Hello?
Yes, no, the 7,000 is not. Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, yes, 7,000.
Hello?
Correct. 7,000 is not something which, if the actual earning is less, you need to pay on the lesser actual earning.
See, the 7,000 is the maximum ceiling, right? But the calculation for the payment, we will consider basic and DA. So I have stated here, it is written very clearly. If the basic and DA is below, or let's consider the earned basic DA is below maximum ceiling, then the bonus will be calculated on the actual ceiling. This is the ceiling. The Act says that more than this will not be considered as bonus. Like if the maximum ceiling is 7,000 and employee's basic and DA is let's say 10,000 rupees, they have to pay bonus to him on 7,000 only. We will calculate bonus on 7,000 only, not on 10,000 rupees. This is the maximum wage ceiling. Okay.
Anyone?
Yeah. Is there any other question, or shall I move?
Give me a moment. There is some question.
Hello.
Okay. Fine. There is a request from someone saying that kindly brief what it is very difficult to brief the entire PPT or presentation which you have done in last 45 minutes. अभी ऐसा नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि सभी का टाइम वेस्ट होगा. तो हम you can connect with us separately. हम लोग आपको brief कर देंगे. ठीक है, धीरज, proceed. There is a request from someone saying that the person was not able to join or network issue.
Okay.
He requested us to take the PPT once again, which is not be a great idea. आप हम लोग से कभी भी बात कर सकते हैं, आप कॉल करके पूछ लीजिएगा. We would be more than happy. So let's proceed with the PPT, Dheeraj.
Yeah. So we have just understood about what is the bonus calculation, how we do the calculation for bonus monthly and annual basis. Now let's understand the available and allocable surplus. This I'm going to describe only for the understanding purpose, so that you can understand what is available and allocable surplus. Otherwise, this is entirely a finance department's work, right? To determine what is available surplus and to determine what is allocable surplus, this is entirely the section of finance department, not HR department. So let's just consider that what is available surplus. So available surplus is the formula, that is gross profit minus all these things, then plus direct taxes minus direct taxes in respect of such gross profit reduced by the amount of bonus. So in short, let's understand that available surplus is to reduce all the deductions, reduce all the liabilities and expenditures from the gross profit. So whatever amount you get after the deduction of all expenditure liabilities from the gross profit of the financial year, and whatever the amount left is known as available surplus. And what is allocable surplus? So whatever the amount we get as available surplus, 60% of that available surplus is known as allocable surplus. Allocable surplus, this surplus amount is allocated for the payment of bonus, right? So 60% of the available surplus is considered as allocable surplus, and this allocable surplus shall be paid as bonus. For normal organization, for Indian organization, the rate is 60%, or for the foreign companies who are been established in India and running their businesses, the rate of allocable surplus is 67%. Now let's understand about what is set on and set off criteria. Set on, let's understand what is set on. So when the allocable surplus exceeds the amount of minimum bonus payable under section 11, so minimum bonus payable is 8.33 rupees, and then excess shall be subject to a limit of, maximum bonus payable. So when the allocable surplus exceeds the amount of maximum bonus payable rate is 20%, and after the payment of bonus, we have already paid the bonus and we still have some amount as allocable surplus in excess even after the paying the bonus, then that excess amount, subject to a limit of 20% of the total salary and wages of that accounting year, can be carried forward for being set on in the accounting year, in the succeeding accounting year. It means the coming accounting year, and so on up to and inclusive of the fourth accounting year, to be utilized for the purpose of payment of bonus. So in short, so we have calculated this allocable surplus, and we got an amount to pay bonus, and we paid at the rate of 20%, and the rate of bonus came as maximum rate of bonus, that is 20%. We already paid 20% bonus to all of our employees, and still we are having some amount in balance from that allocable surplus. That excess amount we can forward up to 4 years, up to 4 succeeding accounting years, to pay as bonus. Let's suppose you any company earns profit in some financial year, but in next financial year that company suffers losses. So we already understood that even in the case of losses, the company have to pay minimum bonus, that is 8.33%. So in that accounting year, when he suffered losses, that excess amount can be utilized to pay bonus. That's how we know what is set on. This is the set on process. The excess can be set on up to 4 years to pay as bonus. Now let's understand what is set on. When there is no available surplus, it means zero available surplus to pay as bonus. It means the company has suffered losses, or allocable surplus in respect of year falls short of the amount of minimum bonus payable to the employee. So it means, let's suppose that the company have suffered losses in any accounting year and have nothing as an allocable surplus to pay the minimum bonus. In that situation also, the company has paid bonus at the rate of 8.33%. So now that 8.33%, whatever the bonus they have paid in the loss year, they can reduce this liability that they have paid as the minimum bonus in succeeding accounting year to calculate the available surplus. So that's the profit of set off. So even if you paid the minimum rate of bonus in the loss year, you can reduce that amount in the succeeding year from your gross profit to compute your allocable surplus. So this is set on and set off criteria.
Dheeraj, would you like to take a question?
Yes, sir. Sure.
What is the difference between allocable and available surplus?
Yeah, I was having a doubt on
this. Okay.
This is Saurav's question.
Saurav, this is available surplus is the entire gross profit, you would say. The gross profit after all deductions like taxes, companies' liabilities, and all. After all those deductions, the amount comes that is total available surplus, right? And from that available surplus, if we calculate 60% of that amount, that 60% of that amount is known as allocable surplus. Allocable surplus means that amount is has been allocated for bonus payment,
which we can allocate for.
Yes. That allocable surplus is allocated as bonus amount to pay as bonus to the employees. So available is the gross profit, and some percentage of that available surplus is known as allocable surplus, which we have to pay as bonus to employees.
Okay. Dheeraj, Paresh Kumar, you want to ask any question?
Yes,
please.
Yeah, actually, I had a question that as per Bonus Act, allocable surplus 67% in case of foreign companies. But I have one question that what if Indian and MNC companies collaboration is there? So does this company fall under Indian company or does they have to follow MNC?
Let me take this question. Very good question. In fact, during this 1 hour of presentation, it is very difficult to clarify. But let me clarify. If a company from out of India and a company from India, they enter into a joint venture.
Yes.
I don't believe they would be entering into 50-50% wala joint venture. It is always 51 and 49.
Yes.
तो जिसका 51 रहेगा वो कंपनी मानेंगे. मतलब मैं सिर्फ एज्यूम कर रहा हूँ. I need to find out this, but 50-50 normally do not happen. It always happens like Vodafone and Idea. Correct. Idea and Vodafone has joined, but the percentage of share is not equal. Company which would be having higher percentage of share would be that company would be considered, or their country would be considered as the base location.
So those company who have excess holding in the
correct.
Yes. So we have to consider company based on the holding.
Right. Paresh, this is my I have replied to the query on the basis of my common sense. To be very
frank. I know.
I would definitely try to find out the exact or legal answer of this question. And if you leave your contact details, we will definitely come back to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's move to the next slide. We have already discussed about set on and set off. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now let's understand about the duties and rights of an employer. What are the duties of an employer under the Payment of Bonus Act? The duty is to calculate and pay the annual bonus as required under the Act, to submit an annual return of bonus paid to employees during the year in Form D. The annual return form is Form D to the inspector within 30 days of the expiry of the time specified by the payment of bonus. To cooperate with the inspector, produce before him the register records maintained and such other information that may be required by them, to get his account audited as per the directions of the Labor Court Tribunal or any such other authority. So these are the duties of an employer that employer have to obey. Now the rights of the employer. Right to forfeit bonus of an employee who has been dismissed. We have discussed in the first slides that if an employee has been dismissed from the services on the basis of fraud, righteous or violent behavior, or theft, misappropriate sabotage of any property, then that employee can be forfeited from bonus. The rights of employer, right to make permissible deductions from the bonus payable to an employee, such as festival, interim bonus paid, and financial loss occurred by the misconduct of an employee. So if there's any deduction for which employee is liable, the employer has the right to deduct that deduction amount from their annual bonus amount. So that can be any damage done by the employee or any debit amount, or if the employee has been asked any advance bonus payment, that advance can be reduced from the actual annual bonus amount. Right?
Dheeraj,
yeah.
I would like to add one point here.
Yeah.
Like all these legal rights, bonus, gratuity, and many other things are given by government. These are employees' right, but employer has got also some right to forfeit these facilities like bonus. There are two words in the law. In fact, one is dismissed, another is discharge. Discharge is normal termination of employment. एक आदमी retire हो जा रहा है या छोड़ जा रहा है तो उससे we can tell that he is discharged from his services. Dismissed is something which is always used as a negative result, or service is terminated on account of punishment, or action is called as dismissed. So in case a person has been dismissed, you have found him guilty during the domestic inquiry, or on the basis of employer action as a punishment, you have terminated anyone's service, will come under dismissed. So dismissed employee का bonus you can forfeit. आप नहीं दे सकते being an employer. मतलब you have all right to stop that. Yes, please, Dheeraj.
An employer has the right to refer any disputes to the labor court or the labor tribunals. If there is any dispute related to the payment of bonus, they can refer that dispute to the labor court and labor tribunals. These are the rights of employer. Now let's understand about the rights of an employee. Right to claim bonus payable under the Act and to make an application to the government for the recovery of the bonus due and unpaid within 1 year. So if there is any amount of bonus that is unpaid to an employee, he has right to claim that bonus amount within 1 year, 1 year from the date it became due. Right to refer any dispute to the labor court tribunal. Employees to whom the bonus of the payment of bonus act does not apply cannot raise a dispute regarding the bonus under the Industrial Disputes Act. So all those employees who are eligible under this payment of bonus act and referred as employees can refer their disputes to the labor court and tribunal. Employer and employee both have this right, and those who are excluded as an employee from the payment of bonus act cannot apply for the disputes under this act to the labor court and tribunals. And they have the right to seek clarification and obtain information on any item in the accounts of establishment. So if they want to get any clarification or information from the employer on behalf of the bonus amount and the amount that is being payable to him or paid to them, they have the right to obtain that information from the establishment. Now, these are some registers that the organizations have to maintain under the Payment of Bonus Act. These registers are Register A, Register B, Register C, and Register D. Register A, register showing allocable and allowable surplus. This is maintained in accounts or finance department. The second one is B, that is for set off and set on allocable surplus. Again, this is maintained in accounts department. So these two registers are being maintained and kept in account department only, because to determine what is the annual gross profit of the organization or what is the tax liability, these all activities are done by the finance department only. So these two registers are being maintained by finance department. Now the register C showing the details of the amount of the bonus being paid to the amount actually paid. So whatever bonus we are paying annually to the employee, that information is being maintained under Register C. This register is being kept under HR department. Register D is the return of the accounting year for the bonus. This is the annual return. This register is also kept with the HR department only. So these are the registers which is being maintained under this act. So for contravention of any provision of the act or the rules, up to 6 months or with fine of rupees 1,000 rupees. This is the penalty that can be imposed on the employers if there is any contributions of any provisions of the act or the rules under the Payment of Bonus Act. So that is the imprisonment and the fine of rupees 1,000 rupees. Now we have some questions over here, as we have already discussed the entire act. right? So now the question that is, can we add statutory bonus in a monthly salary or make it the part of the gross salary of an employee? If yes, can we exclude the employee from ESIC net by crossing gross salary of rupees 21,000 rupees? Is there anyone who wants to answer this question?
We cannot exclude employee from ESIC.
We cannot exclude employee from ESIC if we are adding
bonus
the bonus amount
CTC.
monthly basis, right? That's what your answer is.
Yes.
That's correct. That's correct. If we are adding,
because it is an ex gratia payment, so it cannot be a part of a monthly salary.
Correct. So even if we are paying bonus on monthly basis to employees, we cannot exclude employee on the basis of gross salary from ESIC, and also we cannot calculate ESIC on that monthly bonus amount.
So Dheeraj, here we need not to show bonus on a monthly basis for salary, right?
Yes, that part you can do. How? You can first calculate the gross salary, then insert a column of monthly bonus, then make a final, monthly earning. That is the gross earning of the month.
Dheeraj,
all the statutory yeah, sir.
Give me one. Let me share you my.
Yeah, sure. Let me stop my sharing.
Is my Excel sheet visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look, if this is a statutory bonus, the one which is colored in pink. If I remove this statutory bonus from monthly salary, the gross salary per month is coming to 20,900, and as per rule, this person becomes under ESI. Nowadays, what many companies have started doing is they have started paying statutory bonus and on monthly basis, and they are showing this amount as a statutory bonus on salary slip, which is legally correct.
Yes.
A company can pay bonus on monthly basis, can show on salary slip, but by adding this bonus amount, the person is crossing the limit of ESI. If any company removes that employee from ESI, that would be illegal. That would not be correct. You can pay bonus on monthly basis, but on this bonus, there should not be any ESI deduction. And this amount will not make your gross salary to decide whether the person would fall under ESI or not. Okay. This 20,900 would be the gross salary. You can pay a bonus on which there would not be any ESI deduction. Yeah, this is what Dheeraj was trying to say, which I have explained through Excel. Dheeraj, I am stopping my screen sharing. You can continue sharing your screen. Any question? Anyone want to ask anything?
Yes, I want to add one thing.
Yes.
Please. Paresh, huh?
Yeah, yes. Actually, as per ESIC Act, if you pay any component monthly, then you have to pay ESIC on the same. So if you pay bonus every month, you have to pay ESIC on the same. If you pay it quarterly, you need not to pay ESIC.
Okay.
This is I want to correct.
Okay, fine. You have very strong logic. ESI excludes bonus from the definition of wages.
No, but if you pay it monthly, then you have to pay ESIC, because I have an argument with ESIC officials regarding this, as we are paying the same in my last organization monthly, and he had forced us to pay ESIC on the same.
Okay. Which state you belongs to?
Gujarat, Ahmedabad.
Gujarat. Okay, fine. Look, we have also similar experience with inspectors. Since bonus is something which is not coming under the definition of wages as per Bonus Act, we have succeeded in excluding this amount. We have not paid ESI. Again, then, look, if the person inspector is asking you to pay ESI,
okay,
then that person is considering bonus amount as a part of wages, and you excluding any employee from ESI would be deemed as correct.
Okay. Actually, we have made so many arguments, but he was from that. No, you have to pay on bonus as you are paying monthly.
Probably I would be able to explain in Hindi ज़्यादा अच्छा तरीके से मैं बता दूँ. अगर आपने बोनस के अमाउंट को मंथली सैलरी में ऐड कर लिया, आपको इंस्पेक्टर बोल रहा है कि उस पे आपको ESI काटना है, तो ठीक है, मैं ESI दे रहा हूँ, तो उसको ऐड करने के बाद जो टोटल वेजेज आएगा मैं उसी को वेजेज मानूंगा.
ऑब्वियसली.
तो मैं ESI से बाहर निकाल दिया ना उस पर्सन को, फिर तो मैं ऐड करके.
उस केस में वो नहीं मान रहा था, बोले नहीं आपको उस पे ESI से भरना है, लेकिन
देखिए वो करेक्ट, दीज इंस्पेक्टर्स आर नेक्स्ट टू गॉड. हाँ, माने नहीं माने उनके ऊपर ही है, लेकिन दिस इज व्हाट एज पर लॉ.
वो फाइनली वो लोग ऐसा बोलते कि आप लोग कोर्ट में जाओ, आपके पास रास्ता खुला है.
हाँ. See, अगर इंस्पेक्टर आए हैं तो दे वांट समथिंग फ्रॉम यू नाउ, राइट? तो उसके लिए वो कुछ भी आर्गुमेंट रखेगा आपके पास.
ठीक है, बट दिस इज व्हाट आई वुड लाइक टू जस्टिफाई. इफ दे आर आस्किंग अस टू डिडक्ट ESI on bonus part, then I would make this person out of ESI and I would stop contributing other ESI contributions as well.
कोई भी चीज वैसा वर्जा ही होगी ना, अगर इधर है तो उधर भी होगा.
But this is something which we will again explore. We will try to find out different cases from different states. We are aware of Delhi and Haryana. बाकी का भी we will definitely explore. महाराष्ट्र का देख लेंगे and South का एक दो स्टेट देखिए. We will try to find out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Dheeraj. So this question is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do not have any more questions. The one which is Dheeraj is. Okay, one more.
One more is there. Now let's consider if the company has performance bonus as the part of regular salary for all employees. Will the statutory bonus still apply? Can the variable performance bonus be treated as payment against the liability? Anybody who wants to answer this?
If you pay it with monthly salary, then ESIC will be there.
No, not ESIC, statutory bonus I'm asking. If the company has performance bonus, this is performance bonus, not statutory bonus. Like you can say it is incentive, the incentive amount.
Okay. What the question says that suppose you are paying sales incentive to your employees on monthly basis regularly. Can the employee show this sales incentive as bonus at the end of year?
No, both are separate thing. Though you are giving me performance bonus, you have to give me statutory bonus if I'll come under a statutory bonus limit.
Correct.
This is what you are trying to ask, Dheeraj?
Yes, sir. That was the question, and I got the answer. So we have good attendees today. They already have much knowledge on this. All right. So any amount which is being paid as the performance bonus cannot be considered as statutory bonus, right? Now let's come to this part. Sir, now your turn.
This we have discussed. Okay. Fine. This is all which we wanted to discuss under Bonus Act. The course which we are providing is of 1 month. The classes happens on Saturday and Sunday. 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. And these 3 modules we are covering these 3 modules. First is statutory and legal compliances, under which we discuss PF, ESI, all calculation and challans, maternity benefit, bonus, gratuity, minimum wages. Second module is of compensation and benefit, under which we discuss all CTC structure, gross and net salary. We also teach how one can handle payroll management, income tax, professional tax is also there, then overtime, leave, and calculating full and final settlement. The third module is of recruitment and selection. Apart from telling how a JD can be designed, we talk on various sourcing skills. We train a person on Naukri.com. We allow them to log in and find out suitable resume as per JD. We also teach people to post jobs, how one can do mass mailing, and how these social sites like Facebook and LinkedIn can be used for talent acquisition. Individual module fees is there, but the total fee covering all the model is of 3,500. Anyone wants to ask anything on this? Our numbers are there. The first number belongs to Dheeraj, and the second number of 5 times 9 wala is my number. My name is Anil, and Dheeraj was giving you all this presentation. Do you have any more slides, Dheeraj?
Yeah. So these are the contact details. So now we would like to have any questions. If any further questions anybody wants to ask.
Any question, any query? Dheeraj, go back to our contact detail wala page.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
Like, sir, our wage limit for the calculation of bonus is 7,000, and our minimum wage for the particular schedule employment is 9,000. But my employer is paying me less than statutory minimum wage. That is like someone around 6,500. Then on which we will calculate our bonus, like on 6,500 because it is less than 7,000, or 7,000 as a standard because it is already illegal to pay statutory.
And what is the minimum wage of the state?
Like minimum wage of the state for scheduled employment.
So you mean to say the basic and DA is less than minimum wage also, and the maximum wage ceiling also, right?
Yes.
In that scenario, what is the amount for calculation?
Exactly.
Right. So in that scenario also, the calculation figure would be your basic and DA only, the actual basic and DA.
Okay.
So it would be illegal to keep basic and DA below minimum wages. If your employer is doing so, then that is not correct. But for a bonus calculation, if any amount basic and DA is below the maximum wage ceiling, then the bonus calculation shall be done on actual basic and DA of the employee. So if you said that the minimum wage if the minimum wage is more and the wage ceiling 7,000 rupees, so let's consider the minimum wage is 8,000 rupees, maximum ceiling is 7,000 rupees. So among these, 8,000 is higher. So we'll consider that 8,000 amount as the wage ceiling for bonus calculation. We cannot pay more than this, right? That 8,000 amount to an employee. But if the basic and DA of an employee is below 8,000 rupees, then we have to calculate on his actual basic and DA.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Dheeraj, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So in Delhi, so minimum wages is higher.
Correct.
So we will calculate on the basis of minimum wages, or it will be on the same 8.33%?
See, I have told you that from this minimum wages amount and 7,000 amount, we decide the maximum wage ceiling, right? But we will do the payment on the bonus. If the basic and DA crosses that wage ceiling, let's say you have considered the minimum wage of the employee as the maximum wage ceiling, but the basic and DA is more than that maximum wage ceiling, then we will calculate with the rate of bonus on his maximum wage ceiling amount. That is the minimum wage of the state.
Dheeraj, we have 5 minutes more. You can share the Excel sheet which will make things clear.
Sure. So let me share the Excel again, and let's take amount of Delhi, right? So in Delhi, it's around 14,800 rupees. That is the minimum wage, right? If I'm not correct, this is somewhere around, right? This is the minimum wage amount, and let's say that his basic NDA is 19,000 rupees, right? So we'll take this example first. Basic DA is 19,000 rupees. The person is eligible. It's below 21,000. The minimum wage of the state is 14,800 rupees. Government's limit is 7,000 rupees. So among these two amounts, we have to decide what is the maximum wage ceiling for the payment of bonus act, on which we will calculate with the rate of bonus.
His actual salary will not come into picture.
Yeah, that actual salary will come into picture after deciding the maximum ceiling. The actual salary will come into picture if that actual salary is below the maximum wage ceiling. But if this actual salary is more than wage ceiling, then we have to consider that wage ceiling only for the calculation bonus as the bonus wage.
Okay.
So in this scenario, we can clearly see that the minimum wage of the state is more than 7,000 rupees, right? So now in this situation, we will consider this minimum wage as the maximum wage ceiling, right? And now you can clearly see that the bonus wage for this employee has been capped to 14,800 rupees, but his basic and DA is 19,000 rupees. So in this scenario, if the maximum wage ceiling is more than the basic salary, basic and DA, then we cannot pay bonus on his original actual basic and DA. We have to limit it to the maximum wage ceiling. So on this amount, we have to do the rate of calculation and we will get the monthly bonus. Yeah, is it clear? I hope that I'm able to explain.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to ask anything?
It seems there are no more questions, Dheeraj. So let me thank everyone. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining. And do come back to us in case of any query you have. And
thank you, sir.
Take care during this COVID. Be safe, be at home. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.